end, the federal government came up with the National Policy on Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises. This was reviewed in 2021 with the goal of increasing contributions of MSMEs to grow GDP to 70% by 2025. The new national policy was put in place by the Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency, SMEDEN, and other stakeholders in the sector. It is designed to help provide an enabling environment for the MSMEs to thrive and function at maximum capacities. The multiplier effects of such enabling business environment will allow MSMEs create a minimum of 41 million jobs within the next 3 years. The performance and well-being of these enterprises will be largely dependent on the implementation of this newly introduced national policy on MSMEs. And this requires vigorous and sustained awareness creation that will deliberately build the entrepreneurial capacities of young people. On this edition of Dateline 360, we will take a look at the new national policy, its benefits and multiplier effects. I am Momso Damien Dati. Thanks for joining us on this episode. The role of MSMEs within economies is critical and serve as the engine room for development. This subsector of the economy, however, accounts for just a little over 40% of Nigeria's gross domestic product, which is far below the 70% target of the federal government for 2025, as projected in the National Policy on Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises reviewed in 2021. Muplan Dakok in this report provides insight into the policy.
Micro, small and medium enterprises (MSMEs) have long been identified worldwide as the incubators of innovation and bedrock of employment. It is in recognition of the importance of small businesses that the federal government accorded special attention to the growth and development of the sector. In 2007, it approved the National Policy on Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises (MSMEs), which was revised in 2017 and in 2021. The new policy provides the framework to resolve the challenges faced by the subsector, given the evolving challenges of COVID-19, inflation, and the need for technology, among others. The Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency, SMEDEN, says the policy was birthed after consultations with critical stakeholders like MSME operators, policymakers, researchers, and development partners. The revised policy gives priority attention to the use of ICT in improving government's efficiency, effectiveness, and service delivery to MSMEs.
The policy has made provision for emphasis on women-owned enterprises, youth-owned enterprises, and also to see how we can use leverage on the new issue that borders on technology now, to see how most of our youths or most Nigerians can start up their own enterprise.
We have companies that are producing leather, so that we'll be able to matchmake you. So we feel with this, because at times you may not know that you can get your product next door, and then you will go into our source from Lagos. So these are the kind of networking that we are doing to assist SMEs to, possibly outsource markets, to possibly get their products to end users.
The policy is expected to have a huge impact on businesses new and existing and on the economy at large. It is expected to birth multiplier effects for healthy business environment, which is expected to allow the MSMEs create minimum of 41 million jobs within 3 years. What are the strategies in place for all these and more to be achieved?
We want to see how we can provide workspaces for MSMEs in the whole 23 IDCs, so that those MSMEs that are having issues can easily take that opportunity. Now, then we are talking about access to finance. We've identified all the funding institutions and giving them target that these are the things we want to do. And again, the agency, knowing fully well that we've had issues with funding, has started the process for registering its own microfinance bank, even though we still have our own in-house programs that target funding for MSMEs.
Also, in efforts towards successful implementation, the federal government created a group of focal persons in ministries, departments, and agencies.
That means everybody, all the agencies will not be held responsible. For instance, NAFDAC now, we have some key assignments cut out for NAFDAC. When people are complaining that the cost, MSMEs are complaining that the cost of standardization or approvals is high. What do? We set out that for NAFDAC.
The federal government is optimistic that the reviewed national policy on micro, small and medium enterprises, MSMEs, is a sure way to set MSMEs in Nigeria on the path to economic growth and development. For Dateline 360, Muplang Dakok.
And from Kaduna, we are told that more than 5,000 businesses have sprung up in the state as a result of various intervention programs initiated by the Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency. These businesses provide job opportunities to a sizable percentage of unemployed and unskilled youths in the state. Achari Maxwell takes a look at strides in keeping small and medium enterprises as epic center for economic activities.
Part of the intervention packages provided by the agency to beneficiaries in Kaduna are training capacity, establishment of cottage and medium industries, and facilitating access to finances for setting up of enterprises.
And if one wants to start a business, maybe what do you need? Maybe you need this, you need that. So from the MMR registration, we know that, and we found that Kaduna is one of the states that a lot of MSMEs responded. And that's to tell you, we are doing much here.
I believe we are trying, in terms of ease of doing business. Kaduna is one of the states that has made it very easy for businesses to thrive. So that ease of doing business that we have, I think, is what is helping or assisting the SMEs in Kaduna.
Khadija Saad is among those trained by the agency in creative design. The platform afforded her the opportunity in creative industry.
So I now pick interest in the program and I participated, which it held in Zamfara. So and I was the winner of that program. I think I did a fabric painting, so that was what I did there. So I finally won the talent hunt program. I won 500,000 naira, and actually the money was given to me. Even as I'm talking to you now, this is the place I got from that money, because I promised them if I come back home, I will try and open a place where I will continue with that work, train other people, and bring people that have the same talent with me, or those that want to learn the skill to learn with me.
Used tires such as this one is what Khadija is using to explore her creativity, and thanks to Simiden, she is able to use the loan she has accessed from them to expand her business. Talatu is a Kaduna-based entrepreneur with interest in shea butter processing. Her success story is connected with the Small and Medium Enterprise Development Agency, which offered her the wings to fly.
It really has changed our business, because presently, the machines that we'll be using in the processing is being fabricated, and they've paid for the loan and the rent where we rented to start the production.
A portal has been created for MSMEs to register, and the reason for this is to know their status, know their problems, know where they need help, where they need push. So for us, when we now see that from the portal, they will be responding, telling us their issues, problems that stops them from going to where they want to go. And if one wants to start a business, maybe what do you need?
They need to have business clinics. Some of them may not be able to afford it, so the state government can assist, in getting consultants, to help these businesses and encourage them, to do better, in terms of management, in terms of packaging.
Small and medium enterprise are bridging the existing gap in economic circle. If the desired attention is given to small and medium scale enterprise, it could be a solution to the way out of the economic realities of the country. Achari Maxwell, Dateline 360.
What are we doing as a nation to first of all settle our teeming populace, especially the NTA's political package, with a third eye on the nation's political scene? I am Fisa Ogugu. Welcome.
You have to be very careful giving space to people who are obviously sponsored to further the agenda of some other groups.
We have a lot of questions. A lot of questions in a closed door sessions. Some of these issues, some of the problems bedeviling of their.
In fact, between June 1st and July 17th, 19-point-something billion has left the coffers of the NDDC.
I can say my constituency, they need everything because we don't have anything.
Hoping that their educational deprivation is not the end of the road.
Agencies and stakeholders to proactively tackle these challenges.
Women in most countries of the world constitute about 50% of registered voters. Williams, reporting for Dateline 360.
In Jos, Caleb Gochin, Dateline 360.
Dateline 360. Shidi Okrafo.
For Dateline 360.
In Lagos, Michael Olaleye.
Reporting for Dateline 360.
I am Omosola Omojola. Thanks for tuning in.
And from Jos Plateau State, where key players in the micro, small and medium enterprises say the new national policy is engendering a healthy competition amongst entrepreneurs, giving rise to the National MSMEs Awards that will reposition the subsector for greater productivity on a sustainable basis. Indeyang and the Agbagang will tell us more.
Verima Ibrahim Solomon is an entrepreneur who runs a restaurant and a volunteer artisan network who are sensitizing rural women to go into small-scale business ventures for self-reliance. Hamza Mohammed Lawal is a fabricator who specializes in fabricating goods using value addition in the agricultural value chain, while Nantabwell Oswald is a baker who share a common goal of ensuring the sustainability of the micro, small and medium-scale enterprises.
The cost of running business is high now in Nigeria.
If I just give you a quotation today, between this week to the next week, the market is going to be changed.
It has not been easy, especially in the economy now because of the high inflation in prices.
Despite the seeming challenges faced by the subsector, they are optimistic that the new national policy on MSMEs, championed by Smedan, is a needed push at strengthening it.
We have the IDCs, new entrepreneurs like an incubation center. They can come there, use the workspace for free, develop their businesses, develop their market, and then move out and be able to survive on their own.
They note that the derivables of the MSMEs policy will have huge impact on their businesses, with the multiplier effect seen in the short and long term.
We're encouraging people to become their own bosses, and they will employ people. They employ people, they teach people, like you have the cake making, the bakery section. They have schools, catering schools. So they train these people go out, employ people, train people, and that's how we believe in the long run it will have a positive effect on the unemployment rates.
The key players in the subsector point out that the policy which led to the creation of National Consultative Council on MSMEs being replicated at the state level has ensured the establishment of a one-stop shop, creating great possibilities for players.
Also made a declaration that most of the, like NAFDAC registration, like CAC registration, you can see that at most point in time, they have been able to also make it free of charge or subsidize the cost of registration in order to ensure that the formalization process of businesses are made easy. So we can see that it has really impacted positively on the economy.
With a target of 41 million jobs in the next 3 years, they say is a possible venture.
Industry, whether a medium, micro, or small enterprise is being set up in a place, there could be maybe 10 persons in it directly, but 20, 30, 40 persons indirectly benefiting out of it.
The expert opinion is that opportunities abound in the MSME subsector and is capable of changing the economic fortunes of the country if the new policy on MSMEs is implemented to the latter. In Jos, in Damien and the Abuja, Deadline 360.
Let's take a look at Lagos, the commercial hub, where Amaka Owa reports that the new national policy reviewed by the federal government to drive the micro enterprises subsector from 2021 to 2022 is perceived by stakeholders as a strategy that will turn around fortunes and opportunities in the subsector.
2021 survey from the Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency of Nigeria, SMEDAN, indicates that there are over 39 million MSMEs in the country, which has created a total of 61 million jobs, contributed less than 6% to the export market. These stakeholders consider a shortfall for the economy. The review of MSME's national policy is expected to strengthen the subsector, and for entrepreneurs like Omolara Olayinka and others, the new national policy provides better operating environment for businesses.
Inadequate finance is one of the major limitations to development and performance of MSMEs.
The second review of MSME's policy did not disregard some previous recommendations. However, it will pay attention to nano enterprises, complaint issues with regulatory bodies, and has created an organized structure for public-private sector partnerships.
Emphasis on the new policy on women and youth because of the ability or the potential that reside within this to the youth and the women to facilitate a structured, efficient, and sustainable development of the MSME sector.
Experts say the policy was reviewed in line with economic realities as seen in provisions of increased access to finance, capacity building on enterprise management skills, ICT, legal concerns, and creation of MSMEs clusters.
The policy holders have done a good job in trying to keep the policy very functional. That you see obviously in it. They've also taken into cognizance the modern situation of the market post-COVID.
We're only going to be trained in how to make shoes. We are also going to be trained in how to manage a shoe-making enterprise. So those are the new things that are expected to grow much more than we used to see in the way the SME environment was supported by government. We are going to see a lot more of those two aspects, the access to finance and capacity building, by a larger number of players than we used to have prior to this new policy.
The regulatory agencies, on the other hand, are leaving nothing to chance in ensuring acceptance and implementation of the policy through awareness creation and other strategies towards having a buoyant economy.
MSMEs are said to be the engine room of every economy. Research shows that about 80% of these businesses go into extinction after the first 5 years. This national policy document seeks to address these gaps towards ensuring that these businesses grow from becoming early startups to more sustainable enterprises for the sustainable growth of the nation's economy. In Lagos, Amaka Owo reporting for Dateline 360.
With the new policy, Nigerians will be expecting 41 million job opportunities to spring up in the next 3 years. And that is it on this episode. Thanks for your time. Hope we'll do it again same time next week. Do have a blessed week. Thank you.